Slowly climbing back towards positive. Okay, anyway, let's see what we've got this time. That was a lot of ones in the positioning. Okay, ooh, we have a coaching Riolu. I like it. I mean, I don't, but I do. Alright, so this actually is, I think that is our lead for the coaching Riolu situation. Coaching Riolu is a great support to all three of their physical attackers, which is very cool. We don't see the coaching Riolu super often. I have experimented with it myself. We're going to bring Ogrepon because I'm not a fan of Amoonguss. It is kind of the worst. And then I think Urshifu in the back to help final cleanup. At least that's the plan. So, yeah, I have found with the Regigigas that if you're not leading it, and I don't really want to lead it into what they have over there, and it would probably do fine. But if you're not leading it, then it's usually better just not to bring it. Because you can't always count on the Weezing to stick around for an extended period of time, and if the Weezing doesn't stick around for an extended period of time, then having Regigigas in the back is very, very bad. So, just because of the slow start ability. The slow start ability really cripples it. Okay, now we've got both Gastrodon forms, very exciting. And let's see what our opponent decides to lead. They are leading. Alright. So we have Zacian and Urshifu, which tells me we've probably got interesting. Okay, I think that the appropriate play here is to go for a burn on the Zacian and actually, hold up. The appropriate play here is to go for a burn on... Okay, we still need a Terra. We're going to try burning the Urshifu and protecting the Calyrex. The thought process here being that that might be a Water Terra Choice Scarf Urshifu, which is specifically meant for running over our Calyrex. What a surprise. But protecting behind the neutralizing gas will give us the ability to... Yeah, basically it'll give Calyrex the ability to hold off for a turn, get the burn onto the Urshifu, which basically it gives us the opportunity to start playing around it, as much as it does mean that Zacian will probably get off an attack for free here in just a moment. Yep, okay. So thinking that one through definitely proved to be beneficial, because otherwise that most likely would have dropped the... Probably would have dropped the Calyrex. Yep, that's a very respectable amount of damage. Okay, and there is the Will-O-Wisp. Beautiful. Good job, Weezing. So there's a burn onto the Urshifu. Now, the question becomes... What's the best way to approach this? Since Zacian does not have any offensive benefits, I think that the best option here is to actually go for a Giga Drain into the Urshifu. Urshifu hits into the Calyrex. We Giga Drain back a bunch of the health. Zacian then hits into the Calyrex as well. At least that's what I'm anticipating. And hopefully, since Zacian doesn't have the attack bonus, Cali, because of the health that it gets back from the Urshifu, will be able to survive the hit and persist into the next turn. That's the goal. We'll find out whether or not it's the case. That was a really good amount of damage. Alright, that gets us up to 155. That's quite a bit of health. Oh, play rough. So Zacian just does not like the Weezing. Zacian's going for the Weezing. Weezing is getting off a Will-O-Wisp into Zacian. That's beautiful. So it's effectively crippling the Zacian's team. It was very, very fortunate that the play rough missed. It's possible... Yeah, I would say it's decently likely that Weezing would have gone down if the play rough had hit. So that was actually very fortunate for us that it did not connect. Alright, well, we'll get to see what their next opponent is, or what their next Pokemon is. The Urshifu, of course, going down to the burn there, not as convenient as, you know, picking up the KO would have been, but in terms of the overall game plan that has now solidified Calyrex as being the fastest Pokemon on our side, we're going to protect here, and I think we're going to swap in Ogerpon and just commence with... so bringing out Ogerpon. Ogerpon should be able to take whatever those two are dishing out, particularly with Zacian having the burn. The thought process here being that Ogerpon can then... should be able to brawl very effectively with the two of them. Yep, okay, so they're switching targets, going with the Ice Spinner into... the Weezing, which will most likely do enough damage to knock it out. At this point, really, we can just avoid... We can kind of ignore... We're going to go for another Will-O-Wisp here, but we can kind of ignore the... actually, you know what, will follow me. We can kind of ignore the Zacian because of the burn and because of the neutralizing gas, so it doesn't have its +1 boost. Oh, it's a Mungus. Okay. Well, that makes things interesting. I would have liked to have... Yeah, I definitely would have preferred to have other things on the field to deal with the Amoonguss. I mean, the passive damage isn't a bad thing. I'm not going to complain about that. And Ogerpon is not particularly threatened by the Amoonguss. But Weezing might go to sleep, and I don't necessarily want Weezing to go to sleep. You know, also Weezing doesn't really have anything to hit Zacian with, so that's kind of sad. So we got off the burn. I think it's just time to protect and start bopping the Zacian with Ivy Cudgel. It's not going to do a ton of damage, but it adds up. As we need to get the Zacian off the field now. Alright. So there's the play rough once again pointed at the Weezing. Weezing's health is probably up to the point where it could actually survive one with the burn on the Zacian. Oh, that was very respectable damage. Clear Smog. Ow. That stung. Did not particularly love that. Okay, Weezing just slowly healing up. Slowly, steadily. The burn doing burn things. I'm not really expecting Zacian to go for a protect. No, I mean, it might. It might. So let's Ivy Cudgel into the Zacian slot. Yep, okay, so they are doing the protect. They really want the Amoonguss to take care of the Ogerpon, which it is certainly trying to do. We've got Weezing putting the Sludge Bomb into the Amoonguss to start getting some damage out on said Amoonguss. Yep, every little bit of chip matters. Okay. And in this circumstance, we're going to allow the Weezing to take a hit from the Zacian, because Zacian is well within range for either Urshifu or Calyrex to clean up. So we're going to allow Weezing to take a hit from Zacian. And we're going to Spiky Shield, because I would actually like Ogerpon to stick around for at least one more turn. Oh! That works out. So this should break any Focus Sash that guy might be carrying. And if they wanted Zacian to finish off Ogerpon, then, you know, we've got the Spiky Shield damage. Oh, they did. Oh, boy. Yep, so the Spiky Shield recoil there will chunk the Zacian just a little bit more, which is adding up. Weezing getting that hit off into... the Chien Pao. Just those damage ticks adding up over time. Okay, and I think we're gonna do that. And I actually want Ogerpon to... Let's see, if I go in with the... Yeah, I think if we go in this way, Urshifu should be good to clean up, and they canceled it. So even if... Like, the thing to consider with that last turn was very much a... Even if Calyrex and Weezing went down, the redirection from Ogerpon would keep Urshifu safe. Zacian was going to go down to a burn, or they had to swap Amoonguss back in. If they swap Amoonguss back in and attempt to go for a Spore, the redirection from the... Ogerpon will keep Urshifu safe from Spore and allow Urshifu to pick up the necessary KOs on the opposing side of the field. Most likely with Wicked Blow, though close combat would also move through the Qianpao very quickly. So yeah, no, I think we were in a pretty decent situation, even in an absolute worst case scenario. But overall, good game to my opponents, both of them. And yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and hope to see you next time.